And if you're a Jamaican, this is the favorite part when you're doing the fruit cake. Your mouth of water right now because you want the little residue we are going to leave out of the container where you mix up the cake in. You know me I talk about it. Put your finger on that and just lick it. Yes, so that me a wait pan. Hey TA family, don't forget to like, subscribe, share and comment. Remember to also watch the ads. It's your girl Anna and I'm here with a well requested video to start my Christmas edition. We are going to do some Christmas cake. These are all the ingredients that I'll be using. I'll be using some prunes, cranberry, currants, raisins and a mixed peel. You can also add cherries. So to a bowl we're adding all the fruits, the raisin, the currants, the prunes, the cranberry and the mixed peel. Now to that we're going to add some liquid, some rum, red label wine, a bottle of grape soda, yes, and some ribena. So I'm just going to add all the liquid to that to cover the fruits. Let's give you a little backstory. Growing up, I've always seen my grandmother placing the fruits to soak for a little time before she's ready to bake the Christmas cake. So that is exactly what I'll be doing. I'll be repeating the process. So what I did, I placed the fruits to soak from October of this year. And as you know, it is now December. And the fruit should be a little bit heavy with the liquid. Stay tuned to see how I finish this off. Today we are going to blend the fruits and the liquid, the remaining of the liquid that was left. And you don't want to put too much in the bullet or in the blender because you don't want it to be overloaded. You can blend this to have some crunch to it, or you can blend it to get it as refined as possible. Now I find that if you try to blend on the same day, especially with the mixed fruit, if you did not place the fruits to soak, it will be a bit hard. You can also add nuts if you'd like. So we're just blending the mixture here, and I'm not blending it too refined, but I don't want it to be a bit chunky. So for your liking, if you want it chunky, do not overblend. If you want it refined, ensure that you blend until everything is blended out. Now I'm going in with the final amount of fruits, and I'm just going to repeat the process. I'm just going to blend. Fun facts with this: the longer you soak the fruits, the darker they will be. So now I'm adding sugar to the bowl, the mixing bowl, and I'll be adding 3 cups of sugar. Now you can reduce the amount of sugar or you can add more depending on the amount of cake that you are making. Now I'm making 4 8-inch cake, so hence the reason for this. I've added half of the big jar of chiffon butter. I place the metrics down below in the description bar. So now we are just using the mixer to cream out the sugar and the butter, and we're also going to add 8 eggs. So you can reduce this to 6, but for my preference I'd rather you add 8 if you're going to follow this recipe. So I'm adding the eggs one by one, and I've cracked it in something different before adding the egg because we don't know what's in the shell, so we need to crack it in something different. So the mixer is actually on medium speed. You will have to speed it up towards the end. Now we are going to sieve some flour, and this is all-purpose flour. You can also use cake flour. Into the fruits that we blended previously, I'm now adding some baking powder, and that is 2 tablespoons of baking powder. I'm also adding some salt, and that is 1 teaspoon of salt. You can add more, but the butter was salted, so I didn't add too much. I also added some mixed spice, and this was the powder, the mixed spice. It is better to sift the flour because you don't want the lumps in it. And I'm adding the flour slowly but surely, a little at a time, so you can portion it into 3, 4, or even 6 parts. It depends on you. And if you have to go in with your hand when you're sieving, do that. Just ensure there are no lumps, because if there are lumps, you're going to have a lump of flour when the cake is finished baking, and you really don't want that. Spend the time to ensure that the flour and the liquid, the mixed fruits that were blended, are well combined. So this cake take a little more time to make, but I'm telling you, it is worth it. It is worth it. Now we're going to add 1/3 of the creamed butter, sugar, and eggs. And yes, look how fluffy the cream texture is, because we ensure that the sugar and the butter was well creamed before we added the eggs to give it that extra fluffy look. So it should have a thick whipped cream look. It will curdle a bit, but ensure that you keep on mixing. Now I'm adding my mixed spice, and I'm adding mixed spice, vanilla, rose water, almond, cinnamon, you name it. And I'm just adding 1/2 teaspoon of each. You can add more or less if you like, and if you have the powdered version, you would add it to the flour instead of here. Now we're adding some browning because the cake is a little too white. Now, the darker you want the cake to be, the more browning you add, but you have to remember that the browning can make it a bit bitter. You can also caramelize your sugar, brown your sugar to use instead of the browning. Now I just added some crackers crumb, and I've used the crackers crumb instead of the breadcrumb. So what I do is get some crackers and I grind them out and use the crumbs instead. You will thank me later for this. Ensure that if you are doing my recipe, you follow it to the T. Use all the substitute that I use. Now I'm grating some lime zest into this, because we added 8 eggs. You know, you want to keep the rawness down as much as possible. And here you have my son helping me to mix it, because trust me, it is time consuming, and a girl can take all the help she can get, you know. So as I say, I was grating the lime zest. I'm now going to grease the baking pans, the cake tins. So I'm using the plastic from the butter. We don't waste nothing out here, say no. Jamaicans know what me I talk about here, so we can't make nothing at all waste. Now I'm adding some flour to the grease pan, and I'm now adding the liquid to it. Trust me, people. If you are Jamaican, right here, so your mouth now water, you're not Jamaican. Because here was my Sunday I try to taste the mixture. We are wait pan the mixture for done going at the baking tin for use with finger and grease it, and you know what, deal with the pan there. This is the end result of my cake. I pray that you try this and have a merry Christmas. Until then, it's your girl Anna. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Watch the ads, guys. Watch the ads.